Hey everyone, what's going on? I am on my main account to talk about the gear and what to upgrade, who to put your gear on, and all of that. First of all, let's take a look at what I have here, what I've been working on, just to kind of give you an idea. I am severely lacking in mythic prints, as you can see here. I only have 6. I need another 4 more before I can upgrade one of these pieces. But I have several pieces I can upgrade to Mythic. I just need the prints. Starting off first, I got a red cannon. This, it is really good. It's very helpful, but a lot of players will tell you you want to get red radars. Your red radar should probably be the first Mythic piece you build, and then your armor pieces, these are pretty good after you build some of the radars. And then the cannon, you'd probably build in the order of building a radar and then a cannon when you're talking about your mythic gear. The reason I had mine like this was I just built a red cannon just because I was excited early in the game. Built a red cannon, it was really cool. And then I had this armor piece already to 4-star. And when I got the mythic print from the world boss, I went ahead and upgraded this because I was just focused on getting an armor piece. And that was before everybody was all hyped up about the radar pieces. So you can't really go wrong per se, but the radars are definitely one of the more popular mythic items to build first. And then last would be, let me get down here to the data chip. So I don't have anything upgraded as far as the data chips go, except for this one up to 2-star on D.Va. Primary focus is typically on the radars and then some guns, typically in that order. And then as you can see here, I have several guns. I have 4-star, and then scrolling down to armor, you see I have some armors upgraded, then that one data chip, and then I have a few different radars that are also 4-star. Like I was saying, I have about 5 pieces I am ready to take to Mythic. I just need some more prints. So let's go over to the heroes and talk about who should be wearing what gear. At this level, it is more about who is getting the best gear overall, because most of your gear at this point is at 40, level 40. Now it's a matter of who you want to have the star upgrades on. And you want to have your damage dealers with the best weapons. And then after you have most of your tanks or defensive players, once you have most of their gear leveled up, then you go to your best damage dealer and then level up their radar and start leveling up their armor and their data chip as well, just to help keep them alive longer in the fight. So as you can see here, I have 129,000 attack, 21,000 defense, almost 22,000, and then 4 million HP. Compare that to my Kim, who doesn't have any upgraded armor or any gear outside of level 40. And you can see the stats, they don't drop off tremendously, but it is a pretty big difference, especially with the HP. It's 600,000 less. So then going into your tanks, if you have defensive players that have weapons, exclusive weapons, especially if you can level them up, those are the ones that you typically want to put most of your red gear on for defense, because they're already going to be really beefy. So they're going to get even more benefits from these stat increases that you get from this gear. And again, you're focusing on putting the best defensive gear on your defensive players, not so much weapons, and then the data chip. Again, that's going to be the last thing you typically upgrade for all your heroes. And then this is my second best tank. Working on him, I had this ready to go. I just need the mythic prints, and then that will be upgraded to mythic radar. Typically, you want to have a radar built, a gun built, a radar built, a gun built. And so I've been working on doing things in that order. Going over to my next best damage dealer here, I have this gun that is ready to go to Mythic as well. And then I just upgrade these to the point where they're ready for their prints. So I can upgrade this to 1 star if I wanted to. But the best strategy is to upgrade them from 1 star to 2 star before you work on anything else, because as you see here, when you get to 2 star, that is where you get the different stat bonuses that you really aim for. This one is the damage types, resistance to damage, all damage types. And then if you look here, this one's the crit rate. Over here, you have physical damage resistant is 10%. So that's why people aim for those 2 star increments on your gear. Don't just upgrade everything to 1 star and then 2 star and then 3 star. You want to have one piece that you're focusing on going from level 40 to 2 star, and then from 2 star to 4 star as best you can anyways. I know early on you're just trying to upgrade stuff, but that's typical rule of thumb, is to focus on getting things to 2 star and then also to 4 star for the best stat bonuses, and then you're not spreading out your prints everywhere. You're focusing in and getting the best bang for your buck. This is my second best, or third best damage dealer, I should say. And of course, gun, it's ready to go to Mythic. And then the Stata chip is ready to be upgraded too. And then I've also done most of their defense gear. This one I do need to get upgraded, get that little better stats, and then this one as well. Whereas if I go back to here, I think this one should be ready. Yeah, this one's ready to go. So I can go into Schuler here and upgrade the radar and get that ready for a star upgrade. As you can see, you get little stat bonuses for the HP and the defense every upgrade you do here. So those add up. Overall, though, you want to have your best gear on one team. You don't want to split it up. You don't want to have half of it on, say, your air squad and then the other half in your tank squad. That just wouldn't make sense, because you want to have one team that is going to be really strong, unless you have a lot of money and you have a lot of upgrades on both, both marches or all 3 marches. So you can see here my tank team, mostly level 40 gear. As we go through here, mostly all level 40 gear. This will all be upgraded to level 40, but I will not start upgrading these to legendary, their legendary star levels with prints until I have most of my air squad leveled up, which takes a long time. It's certainly not an easy process. It takes a very long time to get the prints unless you're spending a lot of money. And one of the best ways to get both the legendary prints and the mythic prints is the bullet event that comes around every month. You'll see it roll around into the hot deals. Right now, I only have the custom week pack, but the bullet event, when that comes around, one of the best strategies is buy the $5 packs every month, and then after about 3 months, you'll be able to buy out the entire the bullet event, which is very helpful because it gives you enough to upgrade one of these pieces from 0 star level 40 all the way up to red mythic. So one of the only ways you can do that. And then you have other shops like the Glittery Market where you can buy mythic prints or you can buy legendary prints, but then you still need the ore and the gold separately. The Glittery Market, where you can buy the mythic prints and legendary prints, but then you still have to buy your ore and gold separately. Again, I don't recommend buying gold and ore, but if you're really pushing, you can do so. So that is what I recommend when you're at this level, how to upgrade these items from mythic, legendary 1 star to 4 star, and then mythic. Kind of the best strategy to do so. Again, you're looking to put a lot of your gear on your damage dealers and then leveling up your tank heroes as well. But you really want your damage dealers to be doing a ton of damage. So you don't have to have all red cannons, but they do a good amount of damage when you get them upgraded to mythic. So having 1 or 2 on your team, and then getting your radars and defensive gear up. Again, you don't want to be building radars and armor specifically in that order. Probably doing a radar, and then do a cannon, radar, cannon, and then you can probably start doing a little bit of armor here and there, getting your 5th cannon in. And then once you have both your defensive heroes like this, where you have 2 red pieces of defense gear, then come in and then you can start upgrading your data chips on really any of your heroes. I would start with probably your damage dealer, because you're getting a little bit of both. You're getting some damage resistance, but then you're also getting some attack increases too. So that is what I would recommend when you're at this stage. And let's go ahead and take a look at gear on a new account. All right, so I'm over here on my new account. I only have maybe 3 weeks into this account here. So let's take a look at where I'm at and what gear I have on what heroes. And I do have a full squad for an air team, full legendary squad. And the first thing I did was get a legendary gun, throw that on D.Va. I got the data chip, threw that on here too, and then started building Karli's gear. And then from there, I will start working on Schuler, just because I'm going to try to get her up to 5-star, and then I can get her exclusive weapon because I have bought the exclusive weapon pack on this account. If you're on a new account on a new server, I would not recommend doing that. What I would do is probably work on your Morrison, put your best gear on Morrison because he does a ton of damage. He just doesn't have an exclusive weapon yet, and I can get that on Schuler on this account. So that's what I'm doing here. But at the end of the day, you'll probably end up getting legendary gear. You'll be able to put it on him too. Just right now, these are the 3 heroes I have focused on. Once I have Schuler's data chip, I will then start working on the gold gear for my Lucius here. I'll start putting his defensive gold gear on. And the order you want to do this is doing your attack on your attackers. So I'll go attack on D.Va, defensive on Karli, attack on Schuler, defensive on Lucius, and then I'll circle back and then do my attack on these heroes here. And then after that, and then I kind of do that same process again, but then I'll go defense here. I will throw on some attack gear here, defense here, and then attack gear here. So you just basically go through that same process, but with different gear, the opposite gear where you did the first time around, if that makes sense. When we're talking about leveling these up, you're focusing on levels of 20. Similar to the stars, where you're going from 0-star to 2-star and then 2-star to 4-star because of those stat increases. Same thing here. When you get to level 20 and then level 40, that is where you're getting your crit rate increases. And then same thing with your defensive gear. That is where you're going to get your energy damage resistance and then physical damage resistance. So once I have a little more ore on this account, I will go ahead and probably get this one upgraded, and then I'll jump over and get this upgraded. And then I'll go back to Schuler, and then I'll upgrade this to level 20. And then the same thing with her data chip. So obviously you don't need to wait until you have all your gear before you start upgrading them. Start upgrading these in the order as you get them. Then what I recommend, once you have all your legendary gear on your new heroes, what you'll do is continue to increase. You'll want to get your attack gear to level 40 on your attackers, and then you'll want to make sure all your defensive gear is level 40 on your defensive players. And then on your attackers, you'll come back and you'll get theirs up to level 20. And then this is where you'll want to pay attention, because you'll be wanting to pick up legendary prints out of the shops here. So if you're doing Desert Storm or you're doing Warzone duels and things like that, open up all those boxes, participate as much as you can, and then come into the honor shop and buy the legendary prints. That is what you want to get out of here. Stay away from pretty much everything else. Don't focus on anything else. Get your legendary prints. As you do that, come in. first thing I would do is get this gun up after it's been level 40, upgrade it, get it ready for the first star upgrade. And that's going to take 5 prints, get that upgraded. The next one's going to take 10, 15, and then 20. So altogether, you are looking at 50 prints to take a level 40, in this case, a level 40 weapon up to 4 star. You're going to have a huge stat increase and you're going to do a ton of damage with that 4 star gun. But that is what I would recommend doing, is working on your gun, and then secondary would be getting this up to level 40 on your damage, or your, after you've had this leveled up to level 40, getting this up to 4 star with the mythic or the legendary prints as well. And then you'll come into your next damage dealer. Mine's going to be Schuler. Again, yours is probably going to be Morrison. And this is specifically for aircraft. If you are talking about tank, I'll jump over there. So if we are looking at tank, the order I would do star upgrades would be, I would give Kim a 4-star weapon. I would work on Williams, get him a 4-star radar, and then come in here and give Stepman a 4-star weapon. So that would be the order for tanks. If you're looking at missile, I would go 4-star for Tesla, and then either McGregor or Adam if you have one of those available, and then Swift, I would probably get him a 4-star. And then from there, again, I would continue the focus of upgrading attack items for your damage dealers and your defensive stuff for your defensive heroes, and just rotating between the two. I wouldn't focus on strictly just doing all damage and then switching and then doing all your defensive gear. You want to try to walk that line and balancing things out as you build this stuff up. And be very careful of what you're upgrading. Don't try to upgrade a bunch of gear on a bunch of different teams, because what you'll end up doing is going in and then breaking down. I don't have any gear in here, but you can go in here and dismantle, and you can dismantle a legendary piece of gear. Like if I needed to dismantle this because I had it on a random march on a hero that didn't need it, you can get everything back out of it except for the gold. So if you have, say, a 3-star legendary railgun and you need to get the ore and the prints out of it, you just lost out on probably hundreds of millions of gold, which is a huge waste. So just be very careful. I don't know too many people that would be breaking down railguns, but I've had to make some changes in my teams before, and unfortunately I've lost out on a little bit of gold here and there. So just be careful when you're upgrading gear, what you're upgrading, and that you have the intent to level it up to 4-star and then mythic eventually. Then if you are a new player, there are several different ways to get gear. One of them, you can come over to your trucks, and as you can see, if you go and hit somebody else's truck, obviously I can't hit this one because I don't have a strong enough team, but these epic gear chests here, you can get these out of a lot of different trucks. You'll see these sitting in, and then you can send out trucks with those as well. And then what I would do is I would just get those epic pieces, come in here, dismantle them, and then go in over to merge, and then merge those all the way over until you get your ceramic. And then once you have 750, come in here and build whatever piece of gear you need in the order that I was recommending. Obviously, it's your game. You can build it however you want. But in order to build legendary, you actually only need the gear factory to level 10. So you can build legendary gear pretty quickly, which is super convenient that they didn't make this level 20, or that would have been a giant pain for a lot of players. So just get this gear factory up to level 10, and then you can start cooking. You also have these little material workshops here, which produce they call them screw outputs. So these little screws, which then you take and convert all the way up through to resin and then ceramic. So very slow process waiting on this. So probably one of the best ways is to find them in trucks, farm trucks, and then you'll just get them in various boxes that drop during daily tasks. You'll be able to get different boxes to open up. Never, never, never come into the shop though and buy either the synthetic resin or the ceramic. It's just because in the long run, you're not going to need it. So just take your time, farm out other gear, break down your purple gear, and build the legendary. Don't come into the store, buy the resin. Don't go into the Alliance shop and buy the super alloy or the synthetic resin. Just your Alliance tokens are very hard to come by, especially newer players. These are hard to get. So don't waste it on that. I would use speed ups and buying the stuff for your drone. Those are a lot more valuable. And then same thing with the honor shop. Don't come in and buy the ceramic out of the honor shop. That is probably 100% one of the worst things you can do in the game is using honor medals for ceramic. I don't know why anybody would do that because one, the honor medals are so hard to come by, and this is one of the places where you can get legendary prints without having to spend money. So that is 100% the way I would go in this shop is buying the legendary prints. Jumping over to the campaign store, you can get the ceramic out of here. I do not recommend buying this. If you needed, say you're 20 short or something like that, come in here and buy that. But still, that's 6,000 campaign medals. And if you're a new player like me on this account, it's hard to come by the campaign medals just because you don't get too many on the lower levels. And again, I would focus on buying the drone items and then various other stuff that's going to have a bigger impact in the game versus buying a couple ceramic. So stay away from ceramic in shops. Don't buy stuff that you can, again, farm out normally. And since we have Glittery Market up, I did want to talk about this real quick because you can buy 10 mythics out of here. And again, you need 10 mythic prints to upgrade from 4-star to mythic. And then you do have the ability to buy the legendary prints out of here too. So those would be the two items I would recommend picking up out of here if you see the Glittery Market come around, as well as the luxury chest and then getting the drone components out of this. So a little side note there for you. I have a whole video breaking this down, but this is one of the few places where you can actually get mythics for your gear. And again, do not buy ceramics. Well, everyone, I hope that helps break down gear, whether you're a new player or a veteran player, just trying to figure out best way to upgrade and where to get things from. I did want to mention the Chinese New Year event, I believe should be happening this week. And if that's the case, I really hope they bring back a lot of the legendary mythic prints so that way we can get more ways to finally upgrade gear outside of just a few of the shops. So thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.